Hello and welcome back to Mac at the Movies. Today it is a rainy day here, so I have a hot beverage in a nice horror mug. I believe this was a design from, I think it's Ben Howard, maybe? It's got the signature right there. I can't remember who it was. I remember years ago I used to get monthly subscription boxes for horror-related things, and it came with a canvas print of his half-face sketching of Pinhead, which inevitably went to my collection of Pinhead memorabilia, which I just sort of started collecting from there. So I never really had a direct fan correlation or whatever to Pinhead, but over the years I just kind of sort of kept on picking things up and went on from there. So this was a mug that I got that he had designed a print for, and they did a wraparound mug version of it. So, ooh, that's hot. But it's a nice rainy day here. It's drizzly. It's, one of those days, and a nice hot cup of joe really puts you in the place. So today, I'm going to review for you on this week's movie review, the film Malignant. I just watched this last night with my best buddy Chase. He and I always get together to watch horror movies. Or at least we try to. The past year or so, it's been a little bit more difficult to make that kind of thing happen. But we both love horror movies, and so this one came out. It's been nothing but rants, raves, and reviews about how great it is. So we're going to talk about that. The film was released September 10th, 2021 by New Line Cinema, which right there alone should say, this is going to be a great movie. Let's continue. Directed by James Wan. Again, should tell you it's going to be a great movie. Saw, Insidious, the other one, Conjuring. There we go. I always feel like Conjuring and Insidious sort of, I guess they may have came out around the same time, so I always kind of get the two, not mixed up or confused, but they feel like they go together fairly well enough anyway. But, so right there alone, we have the production company and a director, both known for doing good things with horror. The cast stars Annabelle Wallace, who plays Madison/Emily, Maddie Hassan, who plays Sydney, George Young, who plays Kiko Shaw, and Nicole Brianna White. Nicole always, that threw me off when I was getting the names down, but Nicole Brianna White, she plays Regina Moss. Both her and Kiko are detectives, police in this town that they're in. So the film starts out, you're in a psych ward of some kind of hospital. The acting is atrocious. It is utterly, utterly atrocious. It's like they said to the actors, do your worst possible C-grade horror movie level acting that you can. I want to put novice actors like up on this pedestal to show how good they actually are by your terrible acting, or your acting of terrible acting. It was horrible. The first 5 minutes of this movie alone, we sat there pausing and discussing how terrible it was. We've never paused a movie that many times, and we've seen some pretty crappy movies. This just kept on kind of going in that particular trajectory. Just kept on going and just got crappier and crappier. The storyline didn't really get much better. You were kind of left very, left in the dark with what was sort of going on, which for the story kind of needed to happen, but I feel like there needed to be more early explanation, some sort of a little bit more of a background in identifying what it is that we're confused about at this general point in time. It's something you find out later in the film, but this movie pretty much stays going in this direction an hour and a half into the film. So here we are, we've gotten an hour and a half in the film, and that's when things start to go, ooh, okay. Now where was this, like, I don't know, an hour ago? I can understand a slow burn or dragging something out, but this one just felt too much. We more or less started guessing along the way what was sort of happening, and then all of a sudden it kind of hit us, and then the big reveal happens. I don't want to reveal anything too much to spoil, because I'm sure that there are a lot of folks out there that are going to want to watch this movie, and they may even love this movie. So I don't want to spoil or crap on it too much, but all in all, it was a real downer. I was very disappointed. You had the terrible acting. You had the hour and a half before something good actually happened. I mean, yeah, you have the death scenes and the brutal stabbings and whatnot, if you will. The deaths of some of the victims in the film. One thing that I thought was unique was the weapon used. It was a sort of blade fashioned out of a smashed up broken trophy. But even then, I thought to myself, I don't know too many trophies that are made of metal. I mean, most of them are just like crappy plastic or some variation of. So you see him fashioning this weapon out of a busted up trophy with a bench grinder and like sharpening edges and everything like that. It didn't make much sense for the idea. I'm sure even, some prestigious awards are probably not as, I'm sure a lot of it's as cheap as they can manufacture it. I think other than like Oscars or Grammys or something like that, I think those are actually like forged and made, and like, because I've seen some like where the Grammys are made and it's metal. I've held an actual Grammy in my hand, and those things are hefty, really hefty. So it's, seeing this trophy being used as a weapon, it seemed a little far-fetched, in my opinion. The ending kind of left me going like, what the heck? Like, it's, I guess, supposed to be a relieving, happy ending, but in the same instance, it leaves you wanting to know, like, okay, you may have solved this problem, but what about what's about to happen when, like, reality sets in? Like, I don't foresee you just walking the streets again or doing whatever it is that you're going to do, and I don't want to give away too much. But again, it was very, I don't know, like, by the end of the movie, we just sat there and talked and hashed out so many things that just didn't make any sense. And even suspending disbelief for horror films, this film really threw me a good curveball with, like, I can see where they were trying to make it good. At one point in time, you get really confused about a Jane Doe character and why this person was attacked. And then you have, so much going on. And it's something I would need to rewatch to verify for myself. I don't have HBO Max. My friend does, so that's how we watched it. But in this person's attic, evidently there was a giant industrial fan in the attic, in a home attic. Something that you would see mounted outside of the back of a warehouse to keep, get the hot air out. That was in a house. So that seemed kind of far-fetched that would be a home appliance that gets used. I mean, usually you have those like weird bulb things that, you know, circulate the air or whatever in your attic in most homes. Or I think they have new fancy, like, low exposure ones that I guess just take the wind in as it comes. I'm not sure how it works, but I digress. All in all, I wouldn't necessarily recommend this movie to anyone. If I had to give it a star rating, 1 out of 5, you know, I've seen some low budget films that for me, I thought were amazing and, you know, told a great story. Films that didn't necessarily have to pop out and scare you or show you all the blood and gore, but still gave you that haunted feeling. And I like that. You didn't need all this like grandiose exposure to a scene to really make the movie pop and, you know, get the reactions that you need. But this one just seemed like you had names attached to it. You had a production company that has been known for putting out good horror films attached to it. And it left you kind of going, was this your first rodeo? What are we doing here? It didn't blow up my skirt. Again, I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. My friend Chase, I know he said he wouldn't recommend it to anyone. It wasn't good. After the movie last night, I mean, once you get past that hour and a half and then the movie starts taking off, it kind of brings up your expectations of the film a little bit more. But even with that, the whole of the film, I don't think is really worth it. There was one scene in particular that really kind of, like, right afterward, I was like, was this entire scene, like, everything CGI? Because I don't know if any of you remember the Avengers Age of Ultron, but the entire beginning scene, the entire opening scene of that film was all CGI. Like, everything, like the way bodies would contort around a tree or move, was everything just really had that like uncanny valley where like, this isn't right. Something's off here. And you could tell that it's just everything was CGI. This film, there was a scene inside of a police station that was very much that. I don't even think the police station was real. Like, I mean, everything just seemed off. It looked like it was all designed in a computer. So, yeah, it was just a lot. You know, James Wan, he directed Saw. I mean, I don't know how much of that he had influence on or what with the story. But it seemed very much like you managed to direct a movie starring a handful of people that solely took place in one room. And it was amazing. It was phenomenal. Insidious was great. The Conjuring, awesome. All that stuff, so good. Even with my minor little gripes in those films. This should have been an amazing film. But it just wasn't. So, you know, I think when I said I didn't want to crap all over this movie, I pretty much had, with the exception of trying to promote too many spoilers. That's something I don't want to do, especially if you find this movie to be enjoyable. I don't want to ruin anything for you or anything going into it, but if that was your main goal, then you're going to find that from somebody other than myself. So regardless, you're going to get the spoilers you want. But yeah, again, 1 out of 5 stars. Can't really give it any more than that. It was just too much. It was one of those movies that I just kind of, a lot of questions to be answered. A lot of things that just didn't make sense. Especially when one of the characters revisits the old hospital. All of that is, yeah, not a big fan of it. So anyways, if you saw this film, what did you think about it? Did you like it? And if you did like it, what was it, the particulars that you enjoyed about it that, maybe I can, view it again in a different way, or maybe enlighten myself a little bit more on what you thought was great about it. And if you hated it, let me know down in the comments below. Are you with what seems to be, I think, a good majority? I don't know if there are too many people that really have enjoyed the movie so far out of some of the reviews I've seen. But yeah, jot all that stuff down in the comments below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. You have the opportunity. Do it now. And subscribe. Hit that notification bell, let you know when I have new and exciting videos coming your way. Always be good to one another. And thank you for stopping by. I'll see you next time. Bye.